The objective today is multiply and divide integers with positives and negatives. To multiply integers, let's remember what multiplication really means. So let's remember what is 3 times 4. This in reality means 3 4s added together. So 3 times 4 in reality means 3 4s added together. Instead of writing 4 plus 4 plus 4, you can just say 3 times 4. And if you add these numbers, the answer is 12. So what happens if one of these integers is negative? Suppose that now you have 3 times negative 4. Well, this means 3 negative 4s added together. So 3 times negative 4 really means negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4. And remember that we already learned how to add negative integers. So negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4, that will be just negative 12. You're adding negative numbers, so the answer will be negative 12. But what if the negative is in the front? What if you have negative 4 times 5? Well, no problem. We can use the commutative property. That means that if you switch the numbers, you can solve the same way. You will get the same answer. So negative 4 times 5 equals 5 times negative 4, and then we can do the same thing. 5 times negative 4 means negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4. So adding negative 4 5 times. So the answer will be negative 20. We're adding negative, so my answer is negative. So, in other words, the rule is a positive integer times a negative integer, the answer is going to be negative. Or another way to memorize the rule is if you multiply integers with different signs, the answer is always negative. So different signs, answer is always negative. So negative times positive or positive times negative, your answer is going to be negative. So let's do quick examples. So check the sign of the integers. So in the first one we have 6. If you don't have any sign, remember that means that it's positive. And the other one is negative 2. So I'm checking the signs. So the rule is different signs, the answer is going to be negative. So here we have different signs. My answer is going to be negative. And then I just multiply 6 times 2, that is 12. What about the next one? Positive and negative, so different signs, my answer is negative, and then you just multiply 3 times 8, that's 24. Different signs, negative and positive, so answer is negative, and you just multiply 1 times 5, that will be 5. Different signs, negative 10, positive 4, answer is negative, and then you multiply 10 times 4, that is 40. So remember the rule, different signs, the answer is going to be negative. But what happens if we multiply two negatives? To understand this rule, I am going to show you how to multiply on the number line. So let's remember how to multiply two positive numbers on the number line. The first integer is going to tell us how many jumps you are going to make starting from 0, either to the left or to the right. So if that integer is positive, you are going to do the jumps to the right. If that integer is negative, you are going to make those jumps to the left. My second integer is going to tell me if you do those jumps either forward or backwards, depending on the sign again. So if it's positive, you do those jumps forward. If it's negative, you're going to do them backwards, and of how many units. So that number is going to tell us of how many units. Okay, so let's start at 0. So we are standing here at 0 and it says 3 times 4. So 3 is positive. That means that I am going to make those jumps to the right. So I'm facing to the right. The second number, 4, is going to tell me of how many units. I am going to make 3 jumps of 4 units, and because it's positive, I am going to do them forward. So that means that I am going to do these jumps to the right forward. How many? 3 of 4 units. So let's start. 1, 2, 3. These are my 3 jumps of 4 units each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is positive 12. That's why 3 times 4 is positive 12. Okay, so let's apply the same rule if one of the integers is negative. So my first number is going to tell me how many jumps. So in this case, 3. My sign is positive. Remember, when you don't have any sign or symbol, you know that that's positive. So that means that I'm going to do those jumps to the right of 0. And my second integer is going to tell me of how many units. Again, 4. But here the sign is negative. So that means that I'm going to do those jumps backwards, because that symbol is negative. So again, we start here at 0. I am going to turn right because my first number is positive. So I'm going to turn right. Then I am going to jump 3 times backwards, jumps of 4 units. So I'm going to do these jumps backwards. 1, 2, 3 jumps of 4 units backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is going to be negative 12. So positive times negative, different signs. We already know that the rule. The answer is going to be negative 12. So what happens if you multiply two negatives? So here is the trick question. So let's apply the same rule. My first integer is going to tell me how many jumps, and because the symbol is negative, that means to the left. Then the other integer is going to tell me if I do them forward or backwards. Again, it's negative, so I'm going to do them backwards. Of how many units? Of 4. I'm applying the same rule, so I'm going to start here on 0. My first integer is negative. That means that I'm going to turn to the left, getting ready to jump 3 jumps of 4 units, but I am going to do them backwards. So that means that I'm reversing that negative. So I am going to do 3 jumps of 4 units, but backwards. So 1, 2, 3 jumps backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is positive. So when you multiply two negatives, the answer is always positive because you do that reverse thing that we just did. So the rule, a negative integer times a negative integer, the answer is always positive. Or you can also memorize this rule by saying that if you multiply same sign answer is always positive. That's why when you multiply positive times positive, the answer is also positive. So same sign, the answer is positive. So let's do some examples. I have -3 times -2. Check the sign. Same sign, my answer is going to be positive. And you just multiply 3 times 2. That will be 6, positive 6. For B, you can see that they have the same sign. So same sign, so positive, and then you multiply 5 times 8. That will be 40. And the next one, you have several operations. So let's start with the first two. -2 times -4, same sign. So that will be positive 8. And then you do the next operation, that is 8 times 5. That will be 40, positive 40 again. Remember, you don't need to write that positive symbol when you have positive answers. So you can apply the same rules for division, because remember that division and multiplication are inverse operations. So we apply the same rules. If a positive number divides a negative integer, the answer is negative. Or if a negative divides a positive, the answer is negative. So again, different signs, the answer is negative. And if you divide negative by a negative, the answer is positive. Or same signs, the answer is positive. So I'm going to write those rules so you can memorize them easily. Different signs, check the signs. Different signs, the answer is going to be negative. Same sign, the answer is going to be positive. And remember that these rules also apply for multiplication. Different signs negative, same sign positive. So in the first example, check the signs. Negative, positive, different signs. So my answer is negative. And then you divide. 30 divided by 3, that will be 10. Look at the next one. You have same signs. Both are negative. So same signs, the answer is positive. And then you divide 16 divided by 4, that is 4. Look at example C. Positive and negative. So different signs, that will be negative. And then divide 35 by 7, that will be 5. And then the last one, negative divided by a positive, different sign. So again negative, and then you just divide 42 divided by 6, that will be 7. Okay, so now is your turn. Take out a piece of paper, open your notebook, solve these problems, remember those rules that you just learned, and then you can pause this video, solve them, and at the end of the video I'm going to give you the solution. Good luck! Don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my social media on Instagram and Twitter at NumeritosTV. You can suggest any topic or you can tell me any feedback. Thank you. Bye-bye.